name is Lindsey Lassiter. I'm one of the physician assistants who works here at the Vein Company, where we manage venous insufficiency and lymphedema. Phlebolymphodema is what you get when you combine the conditions. That's going to be venous disease that causes damage to your tissue, making you swell and developing into that secondary condition. At the beginning of phlebolymphodema, you may notice it as just a little bit of swelling around your feet and ankles at the end of the day. You may consider it normal and think, I've been on my feet all day, or I didn't just drink enough water. This is untrue, and it's actually a sign that tissue damage is being done as a result of your venous disease. And this is when it's most important that we intervene, because at this stage, your condition is completely reversible. It's not just an excess of fluid that is going to drive phlebolymphodema. There's actually leaking of protein into that tissue, and it's actually doing damage at the cellular level. So much so that researchers are actually starting to liken phlebolymphodema to congestive heart failure. A lot of them are starting to refer to it as congestive lower extremity failure, and they're finding that this tissue damage is similar to tissue damage done in the lungs done by congestive heart failure. So when we do start to see that swelling present, we do need to go ahead and take action. In stage 1 of phlebolymphodema, when you do have reversible swelling, meaning when you first wake in the morning, your ankles may look normal and they may get puffy through the day, this is completely reversible by managing your venous disease and compression. Stage 2 is when the condition begins to advance. That's when you're going to notice swelling present when you first wake in the morning. It typically worsens throughout the day. Again, at this phase, if we intervene with venous treatment and with compression, this is still completely reversible. Stage 3 is when we start to see actual skin effects from phlebolymphodema. You may notice that your skin starts to get thick and leathery, sores may take longer to heal, or sores may develop as a result of your condition. At this point, we can only manage it. It's not going to be reversible, but there are things we can do if you have already progressed to this point. Compression is the mainstay of treatment for phlebolymphodema, in addition to managing the venous disease that is actually causing your condition. Compression is going to help provide good support to your vessels and your lymphatic system to ensure that that fluid is not piling down in your ankles and feet and causing the damage that we just spoke about. Compression is the mainstay of management in phlebolymphodema, in addition to managing the venous disease that's actually driving the condition. In the majority of patients, they will find that their disease can be managed with standard compression socks. These are something that you'll wear during your waking hours to ensure you're providing adequate support to your venous system and helping that excess lymphatic fluid return back into the circulatory system. Compression stockings can be a little uncomfortable to get used to, but typically patients will notice that their swelling becomes less and less, and the achiness and heaviness they have in their legs also is going to decrease with use of these, making it very easy to start to combine in their everyday activities. There's also some tips and tricks we can find online that are very helpful in teaching us on how to get these compression stockings on. It can be a bit of a struggle, but with a little work, it's not something that it should be too difficult for you to maintain. In more advanced conditions of phlebolymphodema, you may start to notice that the natural taper of your ankle starts to inflate a bit, meaning that wearing typical compression stockings can be a big burden or even impossible for you to get on. That's when Velcro compression garments come in. These are designed for patients that do have larger limbs and don't have that distribution between their calf and their ankle as far as size go. Velcro compression wraps will come with a liner. These help to prevent swelling in the foot and the ankle. The liner is also going to help keep your compression garment clean. They'll also come with a Velcro wrap. These can be applied and straps can be adjusted throughout the day as your swelling may increase or decrease depending on your activity level. They're made of antimicrobial fabric, meaning that if you were to have any weeping associated with your condition, these are easily cleaned and will prevent any kind of bacterial growth. These compression garments are inelastic, meaning they're created out of a short stretch material. What that's going to mean is, as your swelling does progress through the day, these will not lose their elasticity. These will provide you with adequate support, meaning that they will maintain your swelling throughout the day. Another essential component of maintaining your phlebolymphodema are pneumatic compression pumps. These are chambered pumps that you utilize twice a day for 60 minutes. As they inflate, they help to manually decompress your legs and help to manually move this fluid back into the circulatory system so that it doesn't sit stagnant in your tissue. It's very important to understand that if you do advance to a compression pump, they don't take the place of compression garments. I like to think of a compression pump like wringing out a sponge in the sink. When the sponge is completely saturated and I make a fist, all of the water is going to wring out of the sponge. This is the use of your pump. However, if I'm to let go of that sponge while it's still under running water, you'll find that it's going to become saturated again. Wearing your compression garments after you utilize that pump is going to ensure that your sponge stays dry and your legs stay nice and light and not swollen.